away we go. In the Foster's Cup, Carlton against Hawthorn. Umpire Cameron bounces it down. Wayne Johnston crashes into the pack, and immediately there's a free kick plucked out. And it will be taken by Hall of Hawthorn. He kicks towards half forward. Brereton tries to knock it on. Hannah in front. Was he pushed in the back? He was held without it. He'll take the free kick. Millen Hannah out towards right half back. Eastern end of the ground, the Vauxhall end. A famous name there. Kicking towards half forward. Madden was up through his hands. There you see the condition of the oval. Collins back towards midfield. Tumbling attempt. No mark. Still Hawthorn over the ball. Hall, good hand pass out wide. Dixon, a 50-metre line. Interesting hand pass. McKinnon, he was pushed off it. They scramble it forward to Carlton that time. Kennedy to Johnston. White over the top with a hand pass. He was taken high. He'll get the free kick. A lot of new names in this Carlton side this afternoon. Great opportunity for them, Don.
Yes, and a lot of Carlton youngsters getting the opportunity because a lot of players just could not make the trip across here, and they'll be they'll be very intent in trying to impress. The free kick going Blackwell's way for Carlton on centre wing. This ground a little bit tricky in as much as very hard underneath. With the rain last night, the ball very, very slippery.
Long kick into the forward line. It's off hands. Platten spills wide. Langford, hurried kick. It comes out and is taken by Dia. Dia feeds it inside. It's taken by Schwab. Schwab at centre half back. Spears the ball across field. Pritchard, clever hand pass to Kennedy. Kennedy goes down towards half forward. Lunging attempt at the mark down there is paid. That's Abbott, the star of the grand final, or one of them, to the run of Kennedy. Long towards the goal square. Brereton surely interfered with no free kick. Picked up by Hannah. Hannah drives it back towards the wing. Up was Madden. Ball running free behind the pack. It's socket off the ground across the boundary line in effect by Big Dia, and will be thrown in.
And Dermot Brereton not looking too good after trying to attempt to kick that ball off the ground. He's limping back towards centre half forward. Madden, Abbott over the back. Hall, well read, goes goal with the tackle. The ball going towards Hannah and Brereton, and the ball will be over the boundary line to be thrown in, deep in Hawthorn's left forward pocket. The flanks here very, very wide, and as Hawthorn are endeavouring to do, go straight down the centre. Abbott, Madden in front. Carlton little fellows rode the pack well, bring it out. McGuinness, Blackwell, quick handball. Buckenara, back to McGuinness. McGuinness going centre again to a crowd of players. Hall under duress. Gleeson quickly out towards Gallagher over his head. Collins, back pocket, named in the back pocket, starting up a run across to Deere. Now Deere will endeavour and does, goes to the wide outer spaces. Brereton behind, can't take it. No, the umpire call a play on as Carlton clear from the half-back line. A good kick towards Kernahan, spilt, and mopping up well there, Collins.
Certainly is a big oval, this one. Plenty of space. This is Pritchard from the Collins kick on the outer side. In front of the Foster's scoreboard. There's plenty of Fosters around in more ways than one. Socket off the ground by Buckenara, and the mark is taken by DeRuy. Steve DeRuy, midway between centre half back and left half back. Short pass comes in. McKinnon takes the mark on his chest. McKinnon told to play on towards half forward with a kick. Pipia Domenico takes a slide like a base runner. Going into second, he started his slide about 20 metres shy of the ball. Pipia Domenico, interesting kick across the oval. Picked up by Hall, well, almost. 2-on-1 situation. This is McGuinness from half back towards centre wing. It's a high floating kick. Hannah knocking away there for Carlton. Taken by Langford back towards the centre wing area, and the tumbling mark is taken there by Abbott. Here's Abbott of Hawthorn then towards centre half forward with a kick. Carlton have got the numbers. Loveridge going in strongly, the acting skipper today. Dixon, the hand pass out wide to Buckenara. Here's an opportunity. Buckenara pulls it back towards the pocket. Nothing much coming of it for Hawthorn. Looked an opportunity momentarily. There's a scramble, and we'll have a ball up.
And that ball doesn't look too easy to handle. You saw Buckenara go to goal with that kick, whether he stubbed his foot, but the player's not kicking this ball any great distance. Madden using his great height, exceptional ruckman. players swooping on and hunting into packs. There's a quick kick, comes from Morrissey. Goalwood, is that the first score? It is. To the right of the Majors, a point to the Hawthorn. They're the first to score, and Jamie Morrissey, the kicker.
There's Morrissey out of the congestion. Found some space in there, actually. But missed by a wide margin. Behind the scoreboard now. It's a behind-to-no score. And the ball is out towards right half forward for Hawthorn. They battle after it out there. Morrissey carried the ball across the boundary line. Real shame this. The crowd is disappointing, certainly. Although they sold many tickets, quite a few no-shows. It's not quite there. One down by Madden. He's going to get the free kick. Clayton running away with the ball. It comes back to the big fellow. Contrast in sizes there. Obviously, a lot of expatriates at this ground this afternoon. Kick to centre wing. Gowers knocking away through the legs of McKinnon. Scrambled out of the congestion by Phillips. Crossed the ground. Johnston, well shepherded by Herman. Now he's in trouble. Herman picks it up. Slips as he kicks back towards half forward. And luckily, he finds a teammate. That's McKinnon.
McKinnon nearly off then. They looked for options, but they weren't on. Now goes Goldwood, looking for Blackwell. A quick nudge out by Blackwell, and the umpire, Shane Harris, in the best position to give it to Di Domenico, who plays on very quickly out towards the members' wing. Ururi over the top of the ball, looking for and getting. Yes, he's been paid the free kick against Hall. Plays on quickly. Again, not a good kick. These conditions not easy to play on. The ground very hard underneath. The ball slipping across to Buckenara. Now Hawthorn endeavour to set up a run. Back to Blackwell. A quick one from Phillips in towards centre half forward, and all unattended.
Brown.
Here's Fraser Brown. Fraser Brown, 50 metres from goal, goes short towards Johnson, but over his head. But Gleeson will be first onto it, deep in the left pocket. Goes goalward, only to find Di Domenico, who has taken a leaving mark. Now Di Domenico looking for options further down the ground, none forthcoming, so he goes towards the near wing. And Buckenara, a good mark considering the circumstances. Towards the centre. Over Hall's head, running onto the ball well is Kennedy. He was playing well off that half-back flank. Well tackled by Garvey. Back to Platten in the centre on the cricket pitch. Brereton and Hannah. That is the third time Hannah has got in front, brought the ball to the ground. Playing well, Millham Hannah. He goes long towards the full forward position, Kernahan. But going back well was Gowers. A lot of courage. Mopped up again by Collins. Playing well in the back pocket. Di Domenico also featuring. Gowers, centre half back. Good turn. And goes out towards the centre wing, only to find Tony Hall.
Tony Hall on centre wing then. 15 votes in the Brownlow. Rookie year, an outstanding performance. Big mark is taken on the forward line. Momentarily they controlled the ball, and Dunstall, or rather Pritchard, gave it away. Kennedy left it behind. Umpire Cameron moves in, officiating today with Shane Harris. He'll bounce it. Madden's in front. Abbott came over the top. McKinnon an opportunity. Socket away from him. Picked up by Morrissey. Snapshot. Well wide of the mark, as you can see, out of bounds on the full. Steve DeRuy will take the resultant free kick. DeRuy decides to go across the ground. Dunlop in the opposite pocket. Long towards centre wing. Plenty of territory out there. This is Collins, held without it surely. And he'll get the free kick. Collins, who played so well in the grand final in the premiership team, goes in short. Kennedy has it now. Kennedy from right half forward towards the pocket yet again. Deeper. Dunstall offering a lead up the middle. It was ignored. Brereton takes the mark just inside the boundary line. Dermot Brereton kicking from just inside 50. Long kick. Morrissey over the top. Good juggled mark by Morrissey. Brought it in at the third attempt. Morrissey wants to play on, with the umpire insisting he come back. There it is again. Well, perhaps Madden had a fist in there, but gee, that was good work by Morrissey. Plenty of surface water. It's in amongst that now. Plays on. opens up the angle, slides it right across the face. It's out of bounds on the full in the opposite pocket. It seems to me, Don, some of these players having trouble just getting their bearings on a strange ground because it is an odd shape, isn't it?
Well, the Hawthorn would not be used to the ground, but Carlton, as we know, have played here 3 times, and it is an irregular shape of ground. It's not the true football oval as such. There are 1 or 2 corners, and getting lost a little bit deep when they go out to that outer wing. Carlton, through Tom Elvin, will relieve the pressure, and he endeavours and does go straight down looking for Madden. Over the top deer, ball to ground. Carlton players running onto it was Kennedy. Quickly picked up by Hawthorn. Back into the congestion. Dermot Brereton over the top, but Elvin quickly onto that ball, and it hits that brick wall. Hall picks up. Now they set up the play through Buckenara and does the right thing and goes goalward. Is this the first? It is, and Gary Buckenara. So Hawthorn have kicked the first major, and that is 1 goal, 1-7. Carlton yet to score as we see Buckenara, the long kick, some 60 metres, a magnificent kick under the circumstances.
So Hawthorn have dominated this game in terms of their attacking. They've had the ball in their half for the better part of the game. They're back in the middle now. Johnston awarded a free kick, Carlton. Wayne Johnston alongside the centre circle. Side trailing by 7 points. Good to see him back and playing after that injury against this side in the second semi-final. Ribs. Schwab was up to take the defensive mark, operating out of a back pocket. Comes across the ground. The mark is taken here by Buckenara. Buckenara goes long through the centre towards half forward. Brereton getting away from his marker, Hannah, who's done a very good job so far. Takes the mark on his chest.
Dunlop very lucky there not to incur a 50-metre penalty because he kicked the ball away, trying to waste time, but the umpire a little bit lenient on that occasion.
Let's see what Brereton can do from here. He'll be kicking from about 55, 60 metres out. Thinks he can go close. Falls in short. The mark is taken by Morrissey. What a courageous mark that was. Running in with the flight of the ball. And hasn't he improved on?
Yes, well, they do refer to Jamie as the freak. And we saw that freakish mark he took before. And in also the grand final, a terrific hit on. Set it up for a goal as Morrissey just stuttering in his run-up and decided not to attempt that kick. Getting away from Garvey on that occasion, only 20 metres out from goal. Slight angle, shouldn't be a worry. As soon as you say that, they always let you down. It gets to the right of the goal for another point. Jamie Morrissey's second point. Hawthorn 1 goal, 2, 8 points, leading Carlton yet to score.
There's the kick in then. John Platten goes up and takes a very good mark on his chest. John Platten alongside the centre circle. Goes towards half forward. Carlton have got the numbers. Dunstall was the leaper. Off hands it falls to Loveridge. He's in trouble, confronted by Alvin. And the umpire will move in and ball it up. Richard Loveridge back in this side this afternoon. He is pulling out, of course. And Michael Tuck not making the trip. Bounce down left half forward. 8 points Hawthorn's way. Dermot. Bit of body work there. Off to one side. Loveridge confronted by Blackwell that time. Falls to deeply to Minico. He's in the tackle. Going nowhere. Well played by Gleeson. Gets it out to McKinnon. McKinnon drives it towards half forward for Carlton. They still control the ball well. Phillips gets it across to Gallagher. Not a good kick. Missed by Collins. Crashing into him was Johnston. Well played by Collins. Knocked on by Platten. Taken by Deere. Deere's hand pass intercepted there by McKinnon, who's doing well. The good mark is taken by Collins, going back and showing some courage there. Collins in the back pocket towards centre half back. Mark is taken by Schwab. Elects the short pass, pinpoints it well, and the mark in turn is taken by Tony Hall. Ball up towards the centre of the oval. Man unmarked on the outer side wing. Uses it well, finds Pritchard. Plenty of space to operate in. Touches it down once. Again goes with a short pass and uses it brilliantly. And the mark is taken by Dunstall.
And those Carlton backs a little bit loose. We've seen Brereton get away from Hannah. Jamie Morrissey getting away from Michael Garvey. And on that time, Jason Dunstall getting away from Aiken. Now Dunstall 50 metres from goal. Goes goalward. Ball swinging to left. Pack fly. I think there's a mark and has been awarded. Paul Abbott. who took a number of good marks in the grand final, but on a very difficult angle. In fact, he's going to kick more or less from the same position as what Jamie Morrissey did, but he'll be hoping for a better result. Goalwood goes the ball, and another minor score registered by Hawthorn. That is their third, and Paul Abbott has registered his first of the game. Carlton made a switch to Rue now at full-back. Goes straight down the centre, looking for the big man. The ball falls to ground. Gallagher playing a centre-half forward, well up in that position. Does it well for a big man. And Carlton instead to take it down to their forward line to look for Kernahan. The ball comes to ground. Johnson well over the ball. A real fighter. Fights it out well. Running onto it, Gallagher. A quick kick, but there's this man again, Collins, who has done some very good mopping up work in the forward pocket and sees the ball over the boundary line and to be thrown in Carlton's right forward pocket.
No pun intended, of course, Doc.
Do the ruck work, Gallagher. With Gowers, Gallagher in front, a good tip out. Got a lot of potential, Gallagher. Quickly across to Brown. Buckenara onto it quickly, a hurried kick. Madden underneath, and well done by Morrissey to bring it to ground. But Carlton have the numbers there. They go Goldwood through Peter White. Only a youngster up through the under-19s in the forward pocket, and Collins is there again. Di Domenico running down well. Gets his quick despite Johnson's great tackle. Gowers, now they run the ball. They've got numbers. Hall looks for it and finds Buckenara in towards the centre on the cricket pitch. Running through the centre is Dixon. Now they'll go Goldwood, and they do through Dixon. Atkins in front, Dunstall behind. Abbott now centering it. The ball very hard to handle as the Carlton backman run onto it. Aitken. Hawthorn have got the numbers. Great tackle there by Carlton, but kicked off the ground, soccer style, back towards Hall. Now going Goldwood. And the ball will go off the hands of Burden and Hannah for Hawthorn's fourth minor score. 1-4. Hawthorn, Carlton yet to score.
It's going to be that sort of day. Not too many scores. As the crowd look on. The Rue kicks in. Up in front is Madden, waiting behind an opportunity for Platten. He's away. Kicks it back towards full forward. Has it got the carry? It bounces just the wrong way and goes through for a minor score. So Hawthorn dominating this game. They're 1-5 and Carlton yet to score. The outfield in superb condition. Pretty slippery there on the centre wicket area. And a Kubra. And yes, the Eagles represented. My word. The Rue. Over the top, Platten. Ball runs free behind. Blackwell, head down, couldn't control it. Loveridge. Blackwell went down. Well played by Dia to Di Domenico. He pulls it back. It's high on centre wing, and Alvin does very well. Initially with use of the body on Morrissey, and then he took the mark. Swings it out wide to accommodate Blackwell. Blackwell towards half forward. Madden, strong mark, one grab. Takes it at half forward. Down goes Di Domenico. Hanging onto his left ear. Opportunity to even up the score. Didn't. Johnston pulls it back towards centre half forward. It's dropped by Hall. Going in solidly, Herman. Well played. It falls to Kernahan. Kernahan from 40 metres out. It's a shocking kick. It's out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket. So far, his influence on this game, insignificant, Steve Kernahan. That would have been his first kick.
Didn't look confident on that occasion. Kernahan looked for the option, but there was no one running by.
Another chance. Dragged off at that time. Langford keeps it in play. Well, almost. Towards centre wing. Blackwell behind. Hurried kick. It came off the boot of Morrissey. Well, the umpire saying he'll throw it in. That was a line ball decision. It seemed to strike Morrissey on the shin and fly out of bounds. Doesn't matter much. I wonder what they make of it. I suppose a few of those would be Australians in the crowd, perhaps explaining it to their mates. A potted version of how the game is played. Slogging conditions out there at the present time. Platten goes down. Gleeson manages a kick. At half forward, Collins, the leaper from behind, interfered with the man in front, Johnston, and Wayne Johnston will get a free kick.
Should have gone for the punch, Andrew Collins. May have backed himself in. Not a good kick by Johnston off the side of the boot towards centre half forward, but playing in front, Ian Herman. And when you do play in front, you usually get the free kicks, especially on a wet day. And Herman did that, giving away the free kick. Was Darren Pritchard, the Hawthorn bench. Well, this should be Carlton's first score of the game. The high ball towards the square. And the ball will be rushed through off the hands of the pack. And Carlton have finally registered the score. And the ironical cheers from obviously a pro-Carlton crowd come forward.
When you talk about the crowd too, Don, it's built up considerably now. It must be up around the 10,000 to 11,000 mark.
Phillips back at centre-half forward. Now the high ball. Going back towards where the ball where it came. Kernahan over the top. Di Domenico. And going goalward, Peter White. He's done it. The young...
Sire Spring Sale 88. Sire $139.
The ball grabbed immediately. So Hall's got a free kick. Goes out wide. It's taken by Buckenara. Buckenara goes towards half forward. And the mark is taken in defence by De Rui. So Steve De Rui is across the face of the ground. It's taken by Herman to Hannah. Hannah runs away from half-back and kicks towards centre wing. Nobody's there for Carlton. Di Domenico takes the mark to Schwab. Schwab stumbles as he kicks, and as a result, it went towards a Carlton player, and Hannah, he loses it. Brereton smothered by Aitken. It spills across towards Dixon. Dixon's hand pass goes across ground. Dunstall deep in the pocket. Hand passes back to accommodate Buckenara. He's upended. Does it brilliantly, though. Gives it to Abbott. Abbott pulls it back towards the kickoff line. Kennedy forward at the pack now. Kennedy's high kick floats across the ground. Leading in the race is Dunlop. Got an awkward bounce. Opportunity for Dixon. Dixon does well in the congestion there, trying to deflect it across to Kennedy. But Dunlop emerges with this ball, sends it back towards centre wing. Gowers in front, and Gowers takes the mark.
Well, you can't help but admire this Hawthorn team. They're very, very professional in the way they're going about it. Now Brereton, and again, getting away from Hannah, has taken the easy chest mark, 50 metres from goal. Directly in front is Dermot Brereton, yet to score. It has started to get onto a couple and goes long with the drop punt, drifting to the left of the goals, and the ball to be thrown in off the hands of the pack. Left forward pocket. Hawthorn kicking to the Vauxhall end. To do this ruck work, Justin Madden. Ball Abbott. Over the back, Abbott. Onto it quickly, Aitken, and he soccers the ball out to a vacant wing, and leading in the race for the ball, McGuinness, and picks it up very, very well. Scott McGuinness centres the ball. Hall, the diving chest mark, can't take it. Picked up again by McGuinness. And Gleeson in over the top, and I think the umpire's got no, he's going to pay the free kick going Carlton's way. I thought he may have bounced the ball down on that occasion. Now coming back into the centre is Herman. Towards centre half forward, but Andrew Gowers playing behind Gallagher. It plays on quickly. Johnson over the top. Can't control the ball. Going back in over the top is Johnson. And the umpire, I think on this occasion, will throw the ball up. Shane Harris, the umpire. Peter Cameron in control. Ball quickly to ground, up towards Langford. Kernahan. Schwab goes safety first towards the goal, and Hawthorn playing safety first tactics. As soon as they get on their back line, they do hug the boundary line and endeavour to take it around.
So we've got a throw in here in front of the gasometer, Don. Shades of Arden Street.
Johnson. A high ball, and no, to left of the points for the goal. Another point. Wayne Johnson, the kicker on that occasion.
Here's Langford then to kick it in. Schwab leads. He ignores that. Wobbles a kick towards half-back. Gallagher goes up, uncontested, and takes the mark on his chest. The big fellow lays it off. Alvin well up the ground on the centre wicket area. Forced to kick across. A good sliding mark taken out there by Brown. Long kick down towards full forward. Fisted away by Deere towards the boundary line. Gathered by Platten. In fact, that last mark may have been taken by Garvey for Carlton. This is Hall. Hall goes across field. Wide of Buckenara. Couldn't hang on. through the legs of the player waiting behind Garvey, who shows a lot of courage and again deserving of a free kick. No reward there. Schwab, little toe poke across. Pritchard slaps it out wide. Taken there by Buckenara on his knees brilliantly to Loveridge to Kennedy. Kennedy towards the pocket, and the mark is taken by Dixon. So Dixon too far out to score. Was that the siren or the hooter? I think it was. So quarter time at the Oval, and Hawthorn lead 1-5 to 1-2. It was a slogging affair here in that first term. Gallagher went nowhere with the ball. He's in there again. Kernahan over it, tries to knock it out to accommodate a teammate. Eventually gets the hand pass to Brown at close quarters. He goes down towards full forward, and it slides through for a minor score on what is the practice wicket area down there. The Vauxhall end. That's how it looks, with goalposts in front of them. There's nothing sacred. Peter Schwab to put the ball back into play. Now, it's great to see footy on a venue such as this. McGuinness comes over the top, fisting away, taken by Platten, tumbles as he kicks. Alvin, that was a good mark. It's not easy to take any sort of mark out there today, Don.
No, as the ball now on outer wing, and Carlton were, as we just heard from Dixon, not supposed to go out there, but they're getting trapped out there as Platten quickly picks up the ball.
There's Platten breaking away from half-back. It would be easy for the players to get disorientated, I'm sure, out there because of the odd shape of this ground. We've seen a lot of the ball being squared. And now we'll have a ball up out towards left half forward for the Hawks. 1-3 Carlton, 1-5 Hawthorn. Collingwood big winners in the earlier game today in Miami. I would imagine the conditions there a little different from the conditions here. There's the bounce. Hall, clean possession. Oh, ran into a dead end. That was a strong tackle applied by White. Front on, not easy to lay, and now he gets 50 metres. Well done. That's the sort of tackle that frustrates opposing players.
And the rain has stopped here, so let's hope the ground will dry out a little. I don't think it will. We've had incessant rain last night and also this morning, and it's only just cleared now.
Intriguing matchup this really, as White kicks towards half forward. Big leap down there by Kernahan for no mark. Emerging with the ball is Herman. He's claimed by Collins. Alvin. Sliding in there was Hall. You've got the side that won the premiership. End of season situation for them. How hard is it for Alan Joyce to motivate the Hawks? That remains to be seen. They're going in pretty hard this afternoon. And of course Carlton. A lot of young players in this side. Great opportunity for them. End of season to prove something. Phillips, the hurried kick down towards full forward. Kernahan jostling down there with Langford. It was a test of strength off the ground by Gleeson. Didn't go very far. This is Brown. Brown gets the hand pass across to support. In trouble out there, Garvey. Back towards Gleeson. Gleeson did well, but he's outnumbered 4-1. Back to Garvey. Too high, surely, umpire. And Garvey will get the free kick. Well, Gleeson did remarkably well twice there, Don. Outnumbered at one stage 4-1.
Yes, but at least Carlton have retained it. That was great play, you just mentioned, by Gleeson, but also Garvey to run onto that ball. Gleeson tried to bring the ball back into the centre. He was deep in that left forward pocket. Now Michael Garvey, only a matter of 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. Good camera shot as Garvey shoots for goal.
It's missed.
Doesn't seem to be the scoring end, but left of end or the Vauxhall Street end.
The way things are going, where you get a goal is the scoring end at the moment, isn't it? Langford kicks in, and the mark is taken by Kennedy. And that crowd has really thickened up, as you can see. Kennedy gets the ball to Hall. You're going to have to love your footy or be very inquisitive to be here this afternoon. McGuinness over the ball on the outer side. Blackwell does well. Ferrets it across towards Herman. Clever hand pass back to Madden. Madden goes towards half forward with a kick. At the fall of the ball, Kernahan first to arrive, trying to spoil eventually. Off the ground by Brown. Controls it brilliantly. I like Gaelic football. From the boot up to the hand, it slides across the boundary line, as do the players, and will have a throw in the right full forward pocket for Carlton, who are looking better in this term. The breeze not a factor. One down decisively by Deere to Platten towards the outer side. Blackwell did well, knocking it forward. Madden took an eternity to pick it up. Took some treatment too from Kennedy, and there'll be a ball up. Dia and Madden having a good duel as they did in the second semi-final. Wayne Johnston, this side of that pack, hasn't been an influence so far. This is Hall, who's done well, as has Buckenara, who fell over. Socket off the ground there by Dia. Towards centre wing, and Brereton's going to get a free kick on.
Yes, well, the umpires, as I mentioned early in the first quarter, were paying the guy in front, and on that occasion, Brereton getting away from his man in Hannah.
McGuinness, beautiful pass from Dunstall, one of the stars of the VFL. 16 votes in the Brownlow, equals second on the season. 132 goals. He's kicking from about 45 metres. Looks pretty good. It's sliding away to the left and through for a minor score. So quite a few new names in this Carlton defence, but they're doing very well on the big names of the Hawthorn attack, Don.
Yes, but Hawthorn are impressive when they get the ball, as we just saw on that occasion. Dunstall always leads confidently because he knows that the guys further up the ground are very apt at passing the ball and very skilled. And that's an unusual one. The umpire paying it to Kennedy on that occasion. Loveridge manhandling Kennedy before the ball was actually brought back into play by the full-back.
Yes, Kennedy wanted to run and give a lead, and he was held. Hannah tried to knock it away from Brereton unsuccessfully. Brereton, at the second attempt, takes the mark just outside 50. Sullivan comes onto the ground for Carlton. Condon on the ground for Hawthorn. A dual interchange there, one from either side, and here's Dermott. He'll kick from just outside the 50-metre line. Getting on top now at centre half forward. That's a mammoth kick. It looks pretty good. It's got the carry. It's a goal.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Play restarts. Madden wins it down. Dia sockers off the ground. Down towards half forward. Hannah off the ground, 2 out wide. Towards the boundary line. And it slides out of bounds in front of the Foster scoreboard. And the Littler scoreboard at ground level. That shows Hawthorn 2-6, Carlton 1-4. Boundary throw in. Madden pitted against Dia. One down by the former. McKinnon. DeRuy appear to be pushed in the back, and he'll take the free kick. The umpires in these conditions doing a very, very good job. The umpires today, Cameron and Harris. DeRuy across the ground, didn't gain any distance at all. And the mark is taken by McGuinness. That was a strange kick from DeRuy. Dunstall from the McGuinness kick goes towards the pocket. 2-on-1. Buckenara has the ball. Shepherded by Pritchard. Buckenara pulls it back across his body. Too far. And through it goes for a minor score.
There's an interesting setup there. Aiken, who was on Dunstall, set up the run from the full-back position. Dunstall didn't quite catch up. McGuinness took the mark. Dunstall being behind, found he was the loose man. Hence, Hawthorn moved forward through a mistake.
DeRuy kicks in, and probably that previous kick of DeRuy was influenced by the oval. I think that had a victory because he didn't gain any distance towards the Carlton goal at all and gave the ball away. This is Johnston on centre wing towards half forward for the Blues. Kernahan almost the mark. It falls to Gleeson. Here's trouble for the Hawks. Gleeson going goalward, slides one through.
What a magnificent piece of play by the Carlton side. The way they built that up, running the ball, laying it off from the centre wing. The ball, as it does, predictable going high to Kernahan. But what's this sidestep by Gleeson? I thought he could have gone right, but he decided to go left. He summed up the situation beautifully and also instantaneously. Well done, Adrian Gleeson.
Well, it's a far cry from the MCG. It has its magic. The oval on a wet October afternoon. One down by Dia. Controlling the ball, Carlton, crashing his way through O'Sullivan towards half forward. Deflection there from Gowers. Sliding in was Kernahan. He's tackled by Collins. Knocks it out only as far as Schwab. Clever hand pass. Nicely measured. Got it across to Hall. Hall towards half forward. Morrissey. 2-on-1 for Carlton, but it mattered not. Morrissey took the mark. Pulls it back to Buckenara, possibly the best on the ground. Back it comes to Hall. Brereton, awkward half volley, did well. Knocked it across to Dipidomenico. Back to Brereton. Man is on for the short one. He ignores that. Goes long. That's close. Just off to the right-hand side. And one sense is now he's getting on top of Milhana.
Is Hannah starting to play behind? Or he has halfway through the first quarter. He started very well. Brereton trying to use his body, wasn't prepared to run, and Hannah was chipping in just at the crucial moment, punching the ball away. But now Brereton is certainly attacking that ball.
Rui in from the gasometer end, finds Dunlop on the outer side. Sounds like he's bowling to Rui. Kicked it in. Short one comes across to McKinnon.
Brought in by Chris Langford, and a good battle between Langford and Kernahan at the full forward position. Langford towards the centre, Brown up behind, and being Nick Garvey on that occasion. Free kick going back to Garvey. Garvey in the centre of the ground on the cricket pitches, rather slippery in that centre pitch area. Goes short, looking for Kernahan. Langford in front, punches the ball away. Johnson onto it quickly. Goes onto that trusty left foot. Docks, dodges, goes goalward. And Carlton's third.
In today's luxury car market, there is one car that proudly sits among this select group of prestige imports. A car with the same power and performance, the same luxury features, the same space. But it's a car that for warranty and sheer value stands alone. The superb 3-litre fuel-injected Mazda 929.
Play restarts and Madden wins it down. Taken there by Kennedy. They scramble it forward to Hawthorn. Alvin couldn't hang on. Loveridge sliding in there. He's claimed. Ball held to him, and we'll have a ball up. Umpire Harris to bounce down across half forward for the Hawks. Now trail 2-8 to 3-5. Carlton doing very well. De Rui swings it out wide. Divya Domenico overruns it. McKinnon missed it off the ground. Divya Domenico did well, deflected it back towards Platten, showing a lot of desperation. Blackwell, brilliantly played, Wayne Blackwell. Gets it out to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan hooks it down towards half forward. Gallagher was up in front. It was knocked away. Gleeson cleverly. Herman. Well done by Garvey too. They're working hard. Down goes the Carlton player. He's going to get the free kick there. Crashing in. Herman. Kicking towards full forward. Kernahan battling with Langford. Off the ground by Pritchard. Wide towards the boundary line. It's still in play. He goes again with the soccer kick. Not much happening there. And the umpire, I'm sure, will come across and ball it up. Brown and Pritchard pick themselves up. But you've got to admire Carlton. These young players really having a dip off.
I'm just interested looking at the runner, the Carlton runner, Stephen Goff. Now, Stephen's, I suppose, flaunting the rules. He's taken a walkie-talkie out to the centre of the ground, so the message is being relayed to him in the centre of the ground.
He could go up in a puff of smoke today. He wants to be careful out there. Kick forward by McKinnon, down towards full forward. It falls forward.
Well, as you can see, we're having just the odd problem or two with our picture live from the Oval in London. We hope to be able to work on that and rectify it. So pretty shortly, we'll be back with the action from the Foster's Cup match in London after this break.
Carlton have skipped away to lead by 9 points now. 29 plays 20. Approaching half-time. Adrian Gleeson from a rather dubious free kick. Umpire Peter Cameron calling a throw on Robert Divya Domenico. Gleeson goaling from about 25 metres out as Dia gets it down to Schwab. Divya Domenico close to the boundary line, keeps it in play, and Platten pushes it across. So 4-5 to 2-8. Boundary throw in front of the outer stand. Madden, hand and head, got it backward of the pack. Garvey, hurried kick deep towards the pocket. A lot of courage shown by Schwab down there. Gallagher going nowhere. Brown fisting it forward. McKinnon really congested, but Carlton again working it brilliantly forward. Well done. The hand pass came across from Herman. Johnston could have almost got a free kick in there. It wasn't forthcoming. They still battle after the ball. And if Hawthorn came here this afternoon thinking it was going to be easy, just a jaunt at the end of the season, I think Carlton have shown them they've got something else on their mind.
Well, Carlton certainly have gone about it in the right way in this second quarter. There's no justice in football sometimes. Hawthorn really did control the game in that first quarter, but just did not capitalise where it matters most, and that is on the scoreboard. Langford
collides with Brown, and the ball spills out of bounds. Young Brown working very hard in his area in the last few minutes. That crowd really has come along despite the conditions. Full credit to them. The organisers would, I'm sure, be gratified. It really has built up, hasn't it?
But I think you'd get used to the conditions over here, Dennis, if you were living here all the time.
Yeah, but to go out and see a game that you don't know much about in many cases would have to be key. Carlton, meantime, have it with Johnston. Johnston goes across the ground. Platten takes the mark. So Platten out of defence. Wide. Pritchard marks just inside the boundary. Pritchard on centre wing. Condon is loose. That's the direction the kick takes. Condon just forward of centre wing, kicking towards half forward. Buckenara in best position to mark, almost a spectacular one-hander. Herman bounces off a couple of Hawthorn players, boots it back towards midfield, and the good mark is taken by young Gowers brilliantly. Away he comes, kicks it towards half forward. Awkward bounce there for Hall. Loveridge got it across towards Brereton. He goes to ground. Clever deflection came across from Abbott back to Loveridge. He pulls it down towards full forward. Dunstall leads back in the race. It's out of bounds. He's been well contained by Aitken. Of course, the conditions tailor-made for a defender, but in similar conditions, Aitken went back into Dunstall in the second semi and did a good job.
Also, Gowers at the half-back line hasn't played football for a number of weeks and is showing fine touch.
Loveridge went to ground, off the ground by Morrissey, and it's a goal to the Hawks.
Everybody glows with dry glow.
Carlton.
And Ian Herman going off.
It's not pretty. It's tough out there. Blackwell off the ground, avoids half forward. Gleeson, that was clever on the turn. He socketed it down towards the right full forward pocket. Kernahan, a great opportunity, wasn't pushed in the back according to the umpire. Langford to Schwab. In slides Brown, confronted by Collins. They're going in solidly. Langford sweeping hand pass. Well done, sends Platten away. Platten hugs the boundary line on the outer side. And what a good mark was taken by Hall.
Hawthorn have gone for a little bit of run. Deer has come off the ground, the ruckman, and coming on Ray Jenke into the forward pocket.
Great desperate lunge there from O'Sullivan, unsuccessful on the Hall kick. Brereton gets it across to Buckenara. Buckenara fancies himself from about 65 metres out. Vacant goal square. Slides through the wrong side of the major sticks down there and through for a minor.
Buckenara's got that amazing ability to get by himself, and he does pick up a lot of kicks, especially in the centre, and he's played very well this year as a roving centreman.
There's Kennedy kicking it in. 4-5 Carlton, 3-9 Hawthorn. This is Hannah behind the pack. Chances his arm, and as a result, paid the price. He was dragged down in the tackle by Brereton. It's built to Kennedy. Schwab does very well in a tight situation. Close to the boundary line, Brereton takes the mark on his chest. Too far out to score, Dermot Brereton. Kicks inside 50. Hawthorn have got 3 players running goalward. Pritchard feeds Buckenara. A question of accuracy, and he's got it.
Interesting looking at the player in question, Millum Hannah. Very unfit Millum Hannah at the moment. He's showing maybe the layoff, and the runner is out there talking to him now, but Brereton got away from him on that occasion, and the way he chased those couple of Hawthorn players, he just hasn't got the fitness at the moment to keep up. He will have to do something. He'll have to tighten up, and I don't know what you do in this situation if you're just not quite fit enough, but obviously that couple of weeks layoff not paying dividends at the moment for Millum Hannah.
Hawthorn back in front. They lead by 4 points, so It's a changing scene the second term. Carlton doing very well in the early stages, and Hawthorn coming back towards half-time. Gleeson is getting a free kick and to a mark. Centre-half forward. Adrian Gleeson will go for distance. Spirals one, offline. Through it goes for a point. 30 plays 33. The winner will play Collingwood for the Foster's Cup in Toronto.
Now the Hawthorn runner, George Stone, is also taking his walkie-talkie out into the centre of the ground.
Technology. Opportunity for Carlton. Sullivan did well. Got it to Blackwell, to Johnston. Johnston goes towards half forward. Socket away, though, by the Hawks. This is Pritchard. He's well shepherded out there. Brilliant shepherding from Morrissey. It comes to Gowers. Gowers booting towards half forward. Loveridge did well. Got it across to Jenke. Platten. Platten tried to knock it back towards Schwab. I think there's going to be a Hawthorn free. It's going the other way. Don't know why that was called. It'll be taken by White at centre-half back. So White, who's kicked a goal, now finds himself in defence and boots it towards centre wing, reaching over the top. The big fellow, Gallagher, couldn't hang on. Platten battling with Garvey, and there'll be a ball up. Up towards centre wing. Carlton players really have put themselves in, including the youngsters. This is Kennedy. McKinnon, his kick didn't travel very far. Morris got the feed from Hall, boots it towards half forward. Hanna is up, fisting towards the boundary line. DeRuy, claimed there by Loveridge. It comes to Morrissey. Intelligent kick, a centering kick. Dunlop couldn't take the mark. Dunstall couldn't control it. Aitken came away, kicks towards midfield. Ball in the road. Dunstall on a lead. Look out, here's trouble for the Blues. Just wide of the mark, though, and it skids tantalisingly away from Dunstall and out of bounds. So we'll have a throw in about 50 metres out from goal.
Just see an indication of why you've got to keep your body behind the ball. The way that ball hit the turf and skidded quickly towards the goal. There's no other way but to get the body behind it.
Jenke misses. And the ball bounces out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. Just seconds remaining now in the second term of the Oval. Entertaining game of football. There's the hooter for half-time. Hawthorn lead 4-9 to 4-6. And I suppose on play, that's a pretty fair situation at this stage, Don Scott.
Yes, well, as I thought, Hawthorn should have been a little bit further in front the first quarter. They did handle the ball a lot more. Maybe they're not used to the ground because it is an unusual shape, the Oval, and something they're not used to playing on. It would be as long as what a Waverley ground would be, but the pockets, and especially the wing, the outer wing, as we see over near that Foster scoreboard, is rather wide, and you can attempt to, well, you do get trapped out there. It's an actual corner. And the players, when they do happen to go wide, it does take a long time to bring the ball back into the centre, and the coaches realise that, and they've quarter time directed both sides to go down towards the centre. But it's very hard to always go down towards the centre. Football, an unpredictable game. You've got to get the opportunities where you can, and on occasions you do happen to go wide, which both sides did in that quarter on occasions.
It's half-time at the Oval, and Hawthorn lead it 4-9 to Carlton's 4-6.
What a score to hand. Hawthorn leading 4-9-33. Carlton 4-6-30. Goal scorers for Hawthorn. Buckenara has 2, 1 each to Brereton and Morrissey. And for Carlton, Gleeson kicked 2 in the second quarter, 1 each to White and Johnston. Well, it looked earlier on as though Hawthorn were going to run away with it. I think they had about the first 5 scoring shots of the match, but Carlton hit the front and led by 9 points until the Hawks kicked the last 2 goals of the first half to lead by 3 points at the long break. We were never going to get a high-scoring game in conditions like that. Certainly plenty of rain over there in London for the players on their trip. All right, earlier today there was no rain in Florida. It was hot and very humid, and it looked as though the players lost a fair bit of weight when they played at the Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, the game between Geelong and Collingwood. Let's take a look at the highlights from the game played earlier today.
Bounce Fellows. Flanagan out wide. David Cameron into an open goal. First goal of the match. David Cameron, 1 goal to Geelong.
He goes long. That will get the ball to within about 25 metres of goal. Banks can't get clear. Now he finally does. Kicks into the man. Shaw Offloads it. Dacos at midfield. Flanagan in pursuit. Gets the hand pass out. Picked up for Collingwood by Ryan. Is it the Magpies first? Looks good. And the goal. Mullane fires the pass to right half forward. The recipient is Tony Shaw. Looks for space. Gets it onto Dacos. Hugs the boundary line. Shot by Dacos. Looks pretty good. Crowd likes it. So does the goal umpire. In plenty of space out there. Centering kick. Looking for Cloak or Taylor. Ryan. Oh, robes it beautifully. Did it stay in? Yes, it did for a goal. Forward was in front. Brownless scoops it out to Turner. Hand pass should be a score. And putting it through for the catch is Russell.
White with a few yards. Kicks over his shoulder, and Dwayne Russell's there. As we watch the kick from behind the goals. Oh, yes, I think that's there. Great kick. In the McGuan direction. McGuan picks up cleanly. Plays on. Out in Matthew Ryan found some space. Should go over to Shaw. He's ours. Look out, Shaw's under pressure. Finds Starcevic. Starcevic from 20 metres out. Shoots a goal. All clear for Collingwood.
Up the centre wing. Well, Kerrison was grabbed by Scott. Still came out with the ball. And the Collingwood redhead down towards Taylor. Didn't judge it too well. Now steps back and goals. That's number 5. Now he plays on with that familiar kicking style. Long to Taylor. Gets the ride and the mark. Too good for Flanagan.
And Brian Taylor now for goal number 6.
And that's close. But it's good.
Stadium over the top. Tries to create. Quick kick forward. Brownless must.
Oh, yes.
Great mark. 8 kicks and 6 marks. Can this be his 4th goal? Kicks through the ball. Yes, it is.
The latter keeps it in play. Shaw. Beautiful hand pass. Saunders. He looks for Taylor and finds him.
Kicks and kicks truly. 7 goals to Brian Taylor.
Centering kick for Taylor. Strong mark. Brian Taylor has 7 goals already and a chance to bring up Collingwood 17th. On a slight angle. 13 kicks and 8 marks to Taylor. And that could be 8 goals. It is. Stoneham. Over the top with a looping hand pass to the running Turner. This time a better balk. Turner turns, shoots, and has put it through for Geelong's 9th goal. Russell with bulk, with strength, gets it to Stoneham. Fumbles the first attempt. The second one was okay. And the kick is likewise. It's a goal.
Kicks the ball to centre half forward. Over the back is Saunders. Saunders shoots. Thank you very much. Another goal to Collingwood.
A much higher scoring game, that one. They kicked 9 goals between them in the first quarter. Collingwood leading by a point. They led by 12 points at half-time. The third quarter they sewed it up. 7 goals to 0 to lead by 52 points. And the Magpies ran out winners by 46. Brian Taylor kicked 8 goals. And for Geelong, Bill Brownless kicked 5. Interesting, the commentators there, Peter Landy and Malcolm Blight, who was watching the team he will coach next year from the commentary position. And I wonder how he's going. He's 1-0 down already. At Joe Robbie Stadium, incidentally, will be the venue for the Super Bowl next year. And they also hope that it'll be one of the venues that'll be used for the World Cup soccer finals when the United States host that in a few years' time. Well, it's pretty wet and miserable over there in London, but we have a good game on our hands, just 3 points the difference at half-time. Now we can take you back to the Oval in London and Dennis Cometti.
Yes, thanks, Drew. We're back here at the Oval. Nicely timed question, Don. 3 points the margin at half-time as it was at quarter-time. Interesting affair, this. As we said at the outset, it was always going to be a slogging contest, and certainly that's what we've had, Don.
Yes, well, the conditions haven't been very good for football. It's been a typical Melbourne day. The weather was, well, it was overcast, especially in the first quarter, the rain falling. The interesting thing is the ground here, it seems to have compacted, you know, through the cricket. It's obviously been rolled, and the ball, the rain just hasn't, or the water hasn't been able to get away. And it was interesting before the game that the fellows were out there, the groundsmen, actually squeegeeing the rain or the water off the centre square area. And that's hence, when the ball does hit the ground, it tends to slide, and players have just got to get their bodies behind. Hawthorn adapted very quickly to that, but just didn't capitalise on the scoreboard.
Well, the highlights are illustrating the fact that Carlton really, with their younger players, threw themselves at the Hawks, particularly in the second quarter. I suppose, as we said in the commentary, it's the classic confrontation. You've got a situation where a side coming off a grand final win is up against a young side. A lot of new names getting a chance today, and some of these Carlton guys have really grabbed it with both hands.
Yes, well, I was also impressed with Hawthorn. I mentioned about their professionalism. I like the way Burton really did go at the ball in the first quarter. Also Dunstall. And there was one or two others, especially up on that forward line, Morrissey, and they showed a lot of application, but they just didn't capitalise on the scoreboard. Carlton started to get a sniff, and you know, in this day and age when football is so offensive, the players on both sides are very skilled. You cannot afford to give any latitude, and Carlton gradually got back in. You know, Gleeson was the dominant player in that second quarter, and Madden, well, he's given a lot of opportunities, especially throw-ins and set of bounce work. Hasn't taken many marks around the ground, but has given the opportunity to little fellows when the ball hits the ground.
You've got London experience. What about this weather? It stopped raining in the second term.
Well, would you believe this is the first time I've been to London and it has rained, so I don't know about this type of weather, but looking to where the weather comes from, I think it will clear this. So the weather prediction earlier today was right.
What about these numbers we can see now? It's all Hawthorn with the exception of free kicks.
Yes, well, they have, and it was interesting at quarter time, the statistics more or less verified the same thing, that Hawthorn just dominated everywhere but didn't dominate on the scoreboard.
Round on, that's not the done thing, surely.
But football has changed, but these Hawthorn players are very professional in the way that they do attack the game, and this is where actually the cricketers come down, as we see the players coming out of their changing rooms. And the Hawthorn, as I mentioned, very professional in their attitude. I don't think it matters with Buckenhauer or any of those players. They've played a lot of football, and they know what it's all about, and they will apply themselves as soon as that ball is bounced. And Cooper on the left, that dry as a bone, and reminiscent of the Australian bush.
It's a long way from the Australian bush. Beer in hand, quite a few messages being sent home. A couple of West Australian suburbs I recognise there, Inaloo and Bassendean.
Also Sam, I hope Sam got that message.
G'day.
There's one from Adelaide, or to Adelaide.
Have you been spreading the message a little bit? G'day. Have you been saying that around the hotel and on the streets? Still brings a smile, doesn't it?
Does it? a lot of blank looks as well. Here we have one wee Dermy, the hook. And Dipper. Yes, the blank look. No.
It really is a festive atmosphere at the Oval, actually. The build-up was good. There was a press conference here on Wednesday. It was well attended by members of the media. I suppose because of the Olympic Games, some of the replays haven't been seen here in London. And as a result, I think that may have hampered the promotion of this game ever so slightly. But the crowd has turned out, given the circumstances and given the sort of morning we had with the weather, they've turned out remarkably well.
Actually, last year, Dennis, they were turned away. You just could not get into this ground last year. A lot of people were turned away, and I suppose the weather has had a lot to do with it today. There's a couple of vacant seats, but just despite that, the people do get used to the weather, and they do come out despite.
Very shortly, we'll be back with the action then in the Foster's Cup, with Hawthorn about to defend a 3-point lead in the second half, 4-9 to 4-6. Half-time score way after they fell behind by over a goal close to half-time. They got the late goals in that second term. Interesting, we look at some of the new names in this Carlton side. Fortier, Phillips, Brown, Dyson, Gallagher, Garvey, O'Sullivan, McKinnon, White. A couple of games there amongst them, but not too many league games over the course of the season. Which of that group has caught your eye most on?
Well, the one I'm looking forward to seeing is Dominic Fortier, because he's a draft choice from Torrens. And it'll be very interesting to see how he makes his mark. He's only small, but a very good player. Played in the Teal Cup. He's a rover, 20 years old, from Torrens.
Ken Herman running into the centre square there, number 25. He turns 23 on Tuesday. There's the hooter. The start of the second half at the Oval. Carlton against the Hawks. 3 points the difference. The Premier's lead. Madden wins it down. Taken by Blackwell. Towards half forward with a kick. Brown, big leap, couldn't take the mark. Gallagher does well, feeds it out to White. The boots down towards full forward. Kernahan appeared to be held, no free kick. That's rushed through for a minor score by Collins, galloping back after that one. He's a very good defender. It seemed Langford had hold of Kernahan's Guernsey there. Langford, the short pass in. Finds Deer, who under pressure, moves towards half-back. Hall does well. Couldn't control it, though. It spills wide to be taken by Brown. He slips over. McGuinness is in there for Hawthorn. They battle after it. And umpire Harris decides to come across and ball it up. So bounce down. If he's game, right half forward for Carlton. And he is game. He gets a good one away, given the circumstances. Madden down towards Phillips. He'll get a free kick. A couple there, perhaps. Held and pushed. So young Phillips from half forward, a centering kick. Gallagher's in front. Gower's over the top. Brown couldn't control it. McGuinness slides over, knocks it out. Well done. Gowers couldn't control it again. White at close quarters. McKinnon gets a hand pass to Johnston. Well tackled by Buckenara. No big Partons in there. We'll have a ball up.
Very scrambly this game. It's the ball very, very slippery, and the umpires haven't changed the ball each quarter.
When you think of all the talent and evidence on this ground, is umpire Cameron asserts his authority there. The ruckman wanting to go before he bounced the ball. It's just a shame we haven't got bright, sunny, still conditions, because they could really put on a show, these two teams. Johnston goes for a slide instead. It was pushed in the back, and he'll get the free kick on the centre wicket area. So Wayne Johnston, back off that rib injury, playing and picking up kicks, hasn't been a dominant player. Towards half forward, Kernahan couldn't take the mark. Opportunity behind for McGuinness. Kept his footing pretty well to Pritchard, to Gowers, out of defence, towards half-back flank, and Hall is always a very good escape route for them. You can find him because he can take a mark. If you're coming out under pressure, why not go to Tony Hall? Here's Dermot Brereton. The boots are on. Look out, London. Brereton alongside the centre circle. Penetrating kick towards half forward. DeRuy got a hand to it. Dunlop over the ball. DeRuy scrambles a kick out. Brereton in there again, but it falls to Hannah behind his marker. Hannah towards half forward. Gallagher takes a strong mark. Gallagher in the true centre half forward position. Goes by hand across to Phillips, but the umpire demanding the ball come back.
Well, Gallagher well within his rights then, but obviously the umpire didn't believe that he played on over his mark.
Gallagher down towards full forward. Kernahan almost the mark. Out of his hands it came to Deer, to Herman on the outer side. Herman wants to play on, pulls it back, close to the boundary line. Madden on his chest. Turned an ankle there.
It came down rather awkwardly, Justin.
I think he was conscious as he went to that pocket of the cheer squad, doing their number between the fence and the boundary line. And being the gentleman he is, Justin was, I think, conscious he didn't cannon into the girls down there. So the big fellow right on the boundary line stabs at goal. That's a great effort from there. That's a goal.
Oh, sales figures are in.
Off the ground, and the mark is taken. It wasn't a mark. It was called play on. Gleeson snapped back towards goal. Kernahan leads in the race. Can't control it. Through it goes for a minus score. So one of the superstars of the VFL. There he is, Steve Kernahan. What a great player. We haven't seen a lot of him today. He's been well held.
Great battle between Kernahan and also Langford.
Langford boots in. And a good mark almost taken by Hall. Brown towards the pocket. Langford's in front down there. Schwab alongside to assist. Langford takes a gamble, goes across the face of goal and finds John Platten. Platten will go short, looking for Kennedy. Pitches just inside the boundary line. Blackwell, sensing the danger, came across well and knocked it out of bounds.
A lot of stings gone out of this game. Looking around the ground, a lot of players walking into position, whereas earlier in the game they were running.
Diaz in front. One down by Madden, sharked by Platten. Platten's high kick goes back towards midfield. DeRuy knocked it down. Buckenara over the top. Morrissey tried to knock it on. Alvin did well. Phillips slips as he kicks towards the pocket. Schwab through his legs. Taken by Johnston. Shrugs the tackle, Wayne Johnston. From 40 metres. Great snap. Kernahan, great mark.
Another great build-up by the Carlton side. Johnson getting away from Schwab. Schwab just couldn't grab the jumper, mainly because I suppose it's wet, but what a magnificent mark there by Kernahan.
Steve Kernahan will fire at goal from about 12 metres out. Sharp angle, but he's normally a very reliable kick. Kernahan gets the goal for the Blues.
Oh, Stephen Kernahan has been held today. An interesting battle with Chris Langford. see here on replay lining up for his first goal, but although Carlton do hold an advantage on the scoreboard, Hawthorn cannot be denied. They've got a lot of skill, a lot of experience out there, and they can cut a side to pieces in just a matter of minutes. So if Carlton want to maintain that 9-point advantage, they'll have to apply themselves all the time.
Madden wins it down. He's dominated the ruck. Platten's kick towards half forward and is marked there by Hannah.
Kennedy picks up on the boundary line and sends it back to Madden, the only Hawthorn player there, but under duress from Deere. Buckenara quickly onto the ball, brings it back into the centre. Abbott, good position in front of Dunlop. Just can't maintain the ball or control of it. Quickly over the ball is that young White, playing a very good game in the second quarter. Kicked a goal. The ball as it goes towards the boundary line. Brown shoots goalward. Only to go right to the goal post for a point. Now Carlton 13-9, 45. Hawthorn 4-9, 33.
Ooh. So we've got a scramble across half back. Herman's in there. Having a few problems here, Don. Well done. Pinch hitting for me. Thanks for that. There must be water in everything today, I think. Here's umpire Cameron to bounce it down across half back there. Up goes Madden. Flicks it back, intended for O'Sullivan. Left the ball behind initially. Now he scrambles with Collins. And we're going to have a ball up. 6-9 Carlton, 4-9 Hawthorn. Vital passage of play the last few minutes in the context of this game. The Blues looking good as Madden fists it down. Dipio Domenico tries to crash his way through, going nowhere. And I think we'll have another bounce.
Keeping Kernahan behind play doesn't look too good. He was squatting down on his haunches, obviously nursing a thigh, flexing that thigh.
Madden asserting his authority now, took clean possession and booted down towards the pocket. Dipio Domenico was taken high and he'll get the free kick. So one of the colourful characters of Australian football out of the back pocket, swings it out wide. Schwab takes the mark out there. Schwab's away, draws a man, goes over the top of McKinnon to Pritchard. Back it comes to Schwab. There's a runner wide. That's Morris. That's the direction the kick takes, and Morris has this ball at right half forward. Goes long down towards the forward pocket. Brereton comes across, knocked away by Aitken. Dunstall, deft deflection across towards Hall. That was bad luck for Hawthorn. Hit Loveridge on the heel there. And Hannah quick to get it out of bounds. Good build up by the Hawks. Needed a bit of luck.
You can see why they are so dangerous. They do run at the ball very well, Hawthorn, and they have numbers around when they do move it forward.
Madden failed to take clean possession that time. Morris showed a lot of courage. Hall goes in. It falls to Blackwell eventually. He clears the zone for the Blues and boots it back towards centre wing. Collins sitting on the ball out there. Gets a boot to it eventually. Johnston with courage went after it. Schwab's got the run of it. Schwab on the outer side wing, pops one up towards half forward, reaching in there McKinnon to knock away. Great tackle on Platten, down he went. Oh, he's going to get a free kick. Wasn't such a good tackle. O'Sullivan, according to the umpire, was in his back. So Platten, forward of centre wing, a centering kick. Brereton up, couldn't mark. Buckenara behind, couldn't control it. Hannah falls over. In goes Morrissey. Eventually it comes across to a Hawthorn player, Loveridge, and Loveridge finds Dunstall. Well, was quickly onto the boot. Loveridge moving it in the direction of the champion full forward to good effect. Dunstall yet to kick a goal this afternoon. Should get this one, and he has.
Sires, spring sale 88. Sires.
Opposed to Madden. John putting towards half-foot, intended for Gallagher. He couldn't hold on. Gowers in close attendance. Gowers has done a good job at centre-half back today. He's a youngster with a great future. And we've got a bounce down. Centre-half forward for the Blues. One down by Gowers. Hand pass comes across from Kennedy to Platten, who was held without it, and he'll get the free kick. Haven't seen a lot of the champ today either. Johnny Platten. Intended for Gowers. Oh, closing on him from all directions, Carlton players. Gowers rather fortunate to get a free kick there.
I wonder who it was against. Was it against Brown or Madden?
I don't know. Gowers has got it, but there didn't seem to be much in that. It was a bad kick that brought him into trouble. Kick towards half forward. Great contest from Brereton to knock it away. Out of midair by Pritchard. That was about 25 metres. Players coming in from all directions. And there's going to be a free kick for Hawthorn. And even the Hawthorn players don't know which one of them will take it. Eventually it's going to be Morrissey. And the indication was a push in the back.
I thought it might have been against Morris on that occasion because he took his eye off when attempting to take that mark. He didn't make any attempt at trying to mark it overhead. So interesting decisions by the umpires. Peter Cameron and Shane Harris.
Morrissey just inside the 50-metre line. It looks a good kick. It is. Good, goes for a goal. Full credit to Hawthorn. The pressure slightly off in the last couple of minutes, and they take advantage of that, as you've said so often, Don.
Well, they are a good side, and Jamie Morrissey there kicking his second goal. 2 goals, 2 for the day. But they've just got stars on each line, and you just cannot afford to let Hawthorn go at any stage of the game because they can cut you apart. And ties locked away at the moment, 45 apiece.
Here's Johnston from Madden towards half forward, and Gowers takes a very good mark. That gives an indication of the surface here. Langford to Kennedy. On the outer side, Pritchard gives it to Schwab. He's got plenty of space. Schwab touches it down for a second time, draws a man, now chips over the top. It's taken by Russell Morris out there. Scores it tight, an opportunity for Hawthorn to take the lead. Aitken came out though and fisted away to Hannah. His kick travels only as far as Platten. Just forward of centre. Spirals one down towards the pocket. Dunstall with a lot of courage couldn't take the mark. This is Loveridge. Blackwell did well to trap it. Knocked out by Dippia Domenico. Morris sliding in there. Dunstall. Socket eventually by Aitken after the valiant attempt to control the ball by Alvin. And Aitken proceeds to put it out of bounds. And really the players of both sides have gone at this one in a way that has to be commended, Don.
Yes, just went through my mind that there haven't been any serious injuries, touch wood, and I suppose you find that on days like today where players are putting themselves in, the weather being like it is, there are not too many injuries.
Madden is dominant now on the ball. That was superb the way he got it down to Gleeson, whose kick has brought the ball up towards half forward. Dippia Domenico did well to Pritchard. Now Hall, who's played very well. Hall long to the forward line. Aitken is down. There's some indecision between he and Dunlop. I heard a call from up here. Aitken, I'm sure, called Dunlop out, but Dunlop put his hands up, and as a result, no mark was taken down there for Carlton, and the ball, luckily for them, spilled out of bounds in the right full forward pocket. So we've got a throw in. Testing time for the Blues. Morris behind the pack. Brereton brilliantly to Dunstall. Dunstall running away from his own goal, can't control it. Gleeson collides with Alvin. Aitken towards the boundary line, and they'd be happy with that. There was an opportunity there, a half chance for the Hawks that they couldn't take, but great vision by Brereton. He saw Dunstall. He didn't try and take the ball. He tried to knock it out. Dunstall couldn't control it. Got the throw in. Oh, well done by Madden. One arm was being held, and he still got the deflection down. Dunlop into the path of Aitken. Russell Morris does very well, outnumbered 3-1. He got it out of bounds.
It's interesting to see what the Hawthorn and the Carlton players realised, that Abbott was going to hook it back over the back. They ran to that position, and it just was deflected by Madden's arm.
Really putting his stamp on this game now, Madden. Brereton. Sandwich between about 3 Carlton players, almost made something out of nothing.
He's capable of doing that, Dermot Brereton. That was a great effort.
So Hawthorn lead by a point now, 6-10 to 6-9. They led by 3 points at quarter time, 3 points at half time as Derui boots in. It's a depleted Carlton side. The conditions certainly have helped them. Madden, and why not go to him? He gets the free kick for a push in the back. Spirals one towards half forward. Johnston in front did well. It falls to Phillips. Hurried kick across the face of the oval. It's taken by Kennedy. Breaking into open space is Pritchard. He's been a live wire in this term. Darren Pritchard out on the boundary line. McKinnon does well. Then should have been pinged for holding the ball. Wasn't. Hand pass comes from Pritchard to Loveridge. Over the top to Collins. Collins has the ball on the outer side. Looking for support. Pritchard back into the fray. Fortier showing great courage. Hall. Dunlop tries to crash his way through and succeeds. Well, almost. Got a kick away. And a great mark is claimed down there and will be paid to Schwab.
Fortier's hurt himself after throwing himself in there near his first touch in league football, and he's come up with a, looks like a rib injury.
I didn't see him come on, but he's apparently marking Platten now. Barber's delight, that pair. Morrissey off the ground. It's out of bounds. Well, perhaps if they said yes, they would be. Clearly they abstain. Boundary throw and outer side. Madden wins it down, then gets it on the ground. Morris was pushed in the back, I thought. No free kick. Derui back towards midfield. Valiant attempt to mark by Gowers. Unsuccessful. Phillips was pushed in the back, and he'll get the free. And certainly Hawthorn having to work to get their free kicks.
And Carlton made a change with Kernan to centre-half forward and Gallagher now at the full forward position.
And those men immediately into the fray. Blackwell wide of the congestion. Scrambles a kick forward into open space. Deere is there for Hawthorn. Deere deep in the back pocket, over the top to Kennedy. Kennedy with Platten inside him does brilliantly. Use that as a decoy. Then distributes the ball downfield. The mark is taken by Hall. Hall hand pass to Platten and immediately peeled off to Shepherd. Great football by Hawthorn. They've moved up a gear now as they were challenged. Platten deep into attack. Up in front was Aitken. Tunstall superbly gets it across to Abbott. Charge down. Well done by the Carlton defence. Storming out was Kennedy. The kick goes towards the pocket from Dipia Domenico. Down went Morris, and Morris is going to get a free kick. And you can sense these players really are playing in earnest now. This tempo has changed considerably.
Yes, well, this is an interesting decision here. I thought Dunlop, I suppose after he got rid of the ball, he carried on with his follow-through from the punch. And the umpire, yes, I suppose I do agree. But initially I thought should have been called play on because Dunlop punched the ball away. But nevertheless, Morris has the kick. Only 20 metres from goal, right forward pocket for Hawthorn.
This to stretch the lead to 7 points, or maybe 2. Russell Morris. What's he done with it? It's close. It's a goal.
Whitehorse Motors has a new $2 million service.
Again, Gleeson, his target is over the ball. What great courage he's got. Schwab, perhaps one of the undervalued players in this Hawthorn side over the years, Don.
Yes, he is, and he's worked himself up. It hasn't been an easy trip to the top for Peter Schwab. He's really had to work his way through and has improved over the years too.
Just watch him there off the ball, just finding his man around that pack. A disciplined footballer. And this Hawthorn side built so much on discipline. The hand pass came out from Hall to Pritchard towards half forward. Brereton, he of the green boots, goes back and takes the mark. Now, Don, what's your feeling about a player going off and changing his boots into something akin to bright
Well, we've all got our idiosyncrasies, Dennis. I suppose I've got mine, you've got yours. And Dermot Brereton's got his, and that is his green boots.
I just asked. So here's Brereton. Very close to the man on the mark. Not a bad-looking kick. It slides across the face. Off hands down there. Morrissey kept it in. Kennedy runs it out.
The further this game goes, I've got a doubt about the Carlton's fitness because a lot of these younger players would not have trained. Their reserves, although did get in the final, they went out rather early, and a lot of these players wouldn't have had any fitness for it.
Loveridge misses to the right-hand side. Hawthorn increased their lead at 7-11 now to 6-9. So Carlton skipped away in this term as they did in the second quarter. But I suppose the worrying thing from Colin Kinnear's perspective, he's coaching the side this afternoon, is that on both occasions when they've got out to near 2 goals, which is a pretty good lead in these conditions, Hawthorn really have mustered something and come back strongly against them. It's a good kick in from Derui. It's taken by Deere. socket forward by Kennedy. Kennedy coming through his namesake across half-back for the opposition was held without it. The free kick was paid, but advantage now is paid. Dippy Domenico takes the mark alongside the centre circle. Dippy Domenico with his kick towards half-forward. Brereton is up to take the mark. Dermot Brereton getting on top well and truly now across half-forward. Will kick at goal from, I suppose, 40 metres out. He'll go close from here. Brereton, a magnificent kick. That's very close. It's a behind. Well, I thought almost directly behind that one. It was a goal. It didn't miss by much.
He hasn't got his kicking boots on today, Dermot. 1 goal, 3. But he does look dangerous when he gets the ball.
Steve DeRuy, a little indecisive. Kicks in from the Vauxhall end, and the mark is taken by Pritchard. Hasn't he had a quarter? To Buckenara. Buckenara 50 metres out from goal, pulls it back across his body. A wayward kick, it's out of bounds on the full in that right full forward pocket. Darren Pritchard, one of the key reasons why they've got back into this.
And also, Pritchard linked with a couple of other players. If you're a forward at Hawthorn, you can always lead with confidence because those fellows will deliver the ball so well.
Out of bounds, out towards centre wing, and Alan Joyce, of course, continues on a roll should Hawthorn win this. If they go to Toronto and win the Foster's Cup, they've won just about everything that moves this season. The night premiership, the day premiership, and who knows, they've got their sights set on the Foster's Cup by the way they're playing. Paul unhappy, he was penalised there. 40 has got the free kick. From Adelaide, towards half forward goes his kick. Collins waiting behind, committed brilliantly. Great courage as he went and met Gleeson. This is Dippy Domenico. Gleeson is down hurt. I think he's hurt his ribs out there. Dippy Domenico back into the fray. Scrambles a kick forward. Madden leads in the race out towards the boundary line. Trying to keep it in. He did so well. Socket off the ground by 40 to no one in particular. Kennedy, an untidy hand pass at the feet of Schwab. Schwab hooks it around the boundary line. Missed out there by a Hawthorn player in Pritchard initially. In fact, he's claiming the ball, but it doesn't matter anyway because we're going to have the hooter. 3/4 time at the Oval, and Hawthorn 7-12, Carlton 6-9, so they've increased their lead in effect, Hawthorn, in that term. They led by 3 points at half-time, and they've successfully, at least for the moment, put down the Carlton challenge to lead by 9 points at 3/4 time.
Do not adjust your set. However, maybe you should replace it. Here's how you can see the Olympics like never before. Australia's Champion TV, NEC, is making this champion offer. Buy any colour TV from the NEC range before September 17, and if you're not totally happy with the high performance, we'll give you your money back. See your local NEC retailer now about this champion offer.
Tuesday, fly at 324 kilometers per hour without leaving the ground. It's the fastest street legal car in the world, the new Ferrari. For $750,000, it could be yours. The cutest creature in all the world.
Their potential for reason and understanding is uncanny.
Can they be trained to save lives?
You'll be the judge.
And the ultimate cradle. Whenever your baby cries, it rocks. Beyond 2000, presented by AMP. Tuesday night on 7.
Three-quarter time here at the Oval. 9 points the margin Hawthorn's way. They've got it every change as they head towards the final of the Foster's Cup in Toronto. Monday week, of course, the time for that one. And they'll be playing Collingwood should they win. Carlton, of course, would have other ideas. Carlton trailed by 3 points at quarter time, by 3 points at half time. And certainly they're not out of this game yet, Don Scott.
No, they're not. But I just have a doubt on the fitness. It just was evident in that the third quarter, the way some of those Carlton players were running to the ball. They just weren't just quite getting there, going up and down in the one spot, and their heads started to shake, which is an indication, or bob around as they run, which is an indication of lack of fitness. And they're not a big side. Hawthorn are much bigger. You can see there on screen how small they actually are. 1 or 2 standing out. Madden, Aiken, Dunlop, Kernahan and Gallagher. They're about the only 12 players out there, and when you're small, it does take a toll out of this type of ground. Hawthorn are a bit bigger and a little bit stronger.
Interesting too, Robbie Walls didn't make the trip. Cole Kinnear is talking to the Carlton players out there. His name has been linked with the Sydney Swans. He'll be taking this pretty seriously today. Brown sheds his jumper. Dixie Marshall is standing by. She's been out there eavesdropping. Dixie, what have you got to report?
Well, Alan Joyce was much happier with that latter part of that last quarter, although you'd never really know. He's not the most emotional of men. He wants them to stick to the job, keep the commitment going. As for Cole Kinnear, Carlton must tighten up across the board. They must get more direct with their kicks. Just by the by, a message from the course commentator, Dennis. Can Wombat meet Rusty at the members' entrance? If you see Wombat or Rusty up there, give him a hoy, eh?
Thanks, Dix. I'm sure they could. They're both consenting adults, and we don't care what they do. So the start of the final quarter. There's the bounce. Madden wins it down, as he's done so decisively throughout. The numbers three-quarter time showed him to be well on top in the ruck. Kennedy off the ground. Carlton can ill afford to concede an early goal. He was pushed in the back, surely, and Kennedy will take the free kick. Kennedy, high kick towards midfield. Morrissey did well to work his way to the front, try to crash his way through. Out there was Hall, socket out of mid-air by Fortier, and a good mark is taken by McKinnon. Top mark to Johnston towards half forward. The tumbling kick. There's no one behind this pack except Collins, running back with the run of the ball. Takes it, swings play back towards the middle. Madden from the standing start towards the pocket, and he finds Phillips. Lucky but effective. Now Phillips could score from here. He'll kick from about 45 metres out. The ball is pretty heavy. There's some smoke behind the stand at the far end. That's wafting left to right. So against Phillips as he kicks in towards full forward. No mark was taken by Gallagher. Kennedy got the hand pass to Schwab. As he's done all day, he relieves pressure. Taken by the man on centre wing, McKinnon. Hand pass comes across from White. Fortier goes long towards goal. Dippy Domenico ducks back. Thanks, Pete. Takes the mark on his chest. Dippy Domenico goes across towards Platten and finds him. And Platten certainly lifted in that third quarter. Donny came right back into it, and his influence has been pronounced. Madden may be winning in the air, but Platten's doing well on the ground. There's Hall. Morris, head down, confronted by Fortier. Morrissey in the tackle of DeRuy. Hand pass straight up in the air. Dunlop slaps it towards the boundary line. Abbott can't control it. Out of bounds and will be thrown in.
Fortier is quite an impressive player. He just came on halfway through that third quarter. His first attempt at the ball, he was injured, but he has recovered, so obviously he's a pretty tough little customer, and looks like he might have a little bit of a future.
Madden knocked it down to Dunlop. His hand pass intercepted by Hall, who's been a star. Adipia Domenico scrambles a kick forward. Kennedy to Abbott. They've got the extra man. Buckenara back towards Kennedy. Kennedy on the ground does well to Loveridge. He's surrounded Loveridge, claimed by Kennedy. That wasn't his teammate. It was Kennedy from the opposition. Michael Kennedy eventually sent a kick towards the outer side wing, and Madden's got the free out there. A marvellous player for them. To Blackwell, he's on centre wing.
Hawthorn to three-quarter time, Dennis, have really dominated this game. When you look at the statistics, 146 kicks, 68 handballs, nearly over 200 possessions, whereas Carlton, on the other hand, 117 kicks to 22 handballs.
Really applied pressure, Carlton. There hasn't been a lot of finesse about their game, and again, it's in evidence there as White crashes in and scrambles after the ball. They'll have a ball up. Full credit to them. Young and experienced team. A lot of names we hadn't heard of before coming in. Players on the perimeter of league football, and some from interstate. McGuinness is on top of it out there. And we'll have another ball up, number 47.
Interesting enough, that ball will be bounced on the cricket pitch. Now, I wonder whether that has a concrete underlay with the matting on top. Very hard if you land it on it all.
He bounces it just off that area. Mentioned 47, one of the young tyros out there this afternoon for Carlton. That was McKinnon. That time Blackwell had the run of it. Got the deflection across to DeRuy. Back towards half forward, and a very good mark is taken by Brown. He's now wearing number 59. He was earlier number 20. as if it wasn't confusing enough. Brown goes long down towards full forward, off hands. Collins waiting behind. And Langford has kicked it out of bounds on the full by soccering off the ground into the behind post. So very much a decision of centimetres there. Had it gone to the left of the post, he would have forced a behind or rushed a behind. As it was, he's conceded the free. This is Kennedy, who runs around trying to narrow the angle, then he kicks it out of bounds. He's actually lost ground on that.
What a shocking kick. You couldn't believe it, could you?
It wasn't his best effort. He'd like that over again. Now what's happening? It must have touched a Hawthorn player there, because we've got the throw in. Play goes on. Trying to knock it on down there is Gallagher. Socked off the ground by Langford out towards the boundary. Sockering it around the boundary is McGuinness, and the ball follows the curve for a while, then just rolls gently across the line.
You see then that little passage of play how dependent Carlton are on little men. They've got to get into the game. Madden bringing the ball to ground, also Gallagher bringing the ball to ground, and those little men are the linchpin as far as Carlton are concerned.
But Madden really is the key to this side, isn't he? As shown again there as he got it down to White. He really is an influential player for the Blues. Chris Langford, who's defended stoutly today against a couple of opponents. Boundary throw in, left half forward. Not as gloomy as it was when play started today. Gleeson slung in the tackle. Forced forward by Gallagher. Over the head of Kernahan and Langford. Brown goes in looking for the soccer. It's socked off the ground the other way by Collins. Loveridge going nowhere, slung out of it. Platten and Kernahan tangle, two of the superstars of the VFL.
And one other player there that also is very impressive, although he has played league football before, is Michael Gallagher. Now, he injured his knee and just hasn't cracked it this year. He is a good player. You can see by the way that he handles the ball, his handling is very, very sure.
Leaping over the top of that pack and fisting towards the boundary line was Gowers. Look at Domenico. Down goes Platten. Taken high, says the umpire. Kennedy not amused. Platten gets the free kick. Those orange mouth guards are a bit of a trap. Quite often you think the player is bleeding from the mouth. That's not the case. In fact, we saw Platten smiling just moments ago after that confrontation with Kernahan. There's not a confrontation as DeRuy tried to crash his way through. Gallagher. Brown is in deep, dark trouble there. Gowers picks it up and passes into the path of McGuinness. McGuinness is at right half forward, measuring his options, gets around DeRuy with ease, and now is called for going too far.
You see the pressure has started to go out of this game, the way that McGuinness could go left, right, looking for options. It's more or less slow motion replay.
We've seen a couple smiling at each other too. You don't approve of that. 7-12 to 6-9. DeRuy back towards centre wing. Knocked down by Deer. 40, the hurried kick towards left half forward. Close to the boundary line. Langford, true to his nature, just pushes the ball out of bounds.
The Carlton forwards getting well up the ground, and if that long ball came in, there was just nobody in the goal square on that occasion.
We've played 7.5 minutes in this final term. There's the throw in. Platten confronted by Johnston. Brilliantly done.
Great smother, Johnston.
That was cat and mouse. Would have had a ruffle too. Look at that. Platten looked up, saw Johnston was bearing down on him. Tried to sell him a decoy, but Johnston was having none of it. There's Platten again in the thick of things. Johnston's got the ball meantime. Goes goal, but that's a magnificent effort from there. Just slides across the face and bounces through for a minor score. So Carlton can't get the goal. That will bring them back into this game.
Hawthorn making changes. Domenico going off and Robert Dixon coming on as Scott McGuinness is also going off and Raymond Jenke coming back on as well.
Back in midfield. Pritchard's got an opportunity for the Hawks now. In short, beautiful kick, and he finds Dixon, who is thinking of going. Dixon has the ball across half forward, midway between centre half forward and left half forward. Kicks towards full forward. Brereton is down there. Hannah got a fist on the ball. Brereton tries out of midair. Doesn't connect. And Aitken content to track it across the goal line for a behind. I've never seen so many smiles in a close game before. Everyone's got a grin on their face. Here's DeRuy. 7-12 to 6-10. Hawthorn lead. DeRuy goes straight up the middle. Intelligent kick. Dunlop takes a good mark. Feeds Hannah, who was almost in the grasp of Dixon. He did well to break away. Sends play towards half forward. Up comes Kernahan, held by the arm surely. He'll get a free kick. Kernahan goes for a vacant goal square. Will it slide through? It slides the wrong side of the major opening for the Blues and through for a minor score. But they creep closer. The margin is back to 8 points.
The cheer squad getting into the act.
There's Collins, oblivious to all of that. They work it forward yet again. Pritchard towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Hall. Barking instructions as he goes back. What an acquisition he's been this season, Tony Hall. Right near the top of the Brownlow medal voting. Brereton couldn't take the mark, but as always battles on the ground. Pritchard, can he keep it in play? No, he can't. He's been a star this afternoon, Darren Pritchard, and will have a boundary throw in. One sense is the next goal can either kill this game or bring it right to life. Hawthorn through Abbott interfering there, and once again the man who's had as big an influence on this game as anybody else, Justin Madden, gets the free. He was up early yesterday morning too. He kicks towards centre wing, and the mark is taken by Gallagher. I saw him interviewed on local television promoting the game about 6:05 in the morning. He slept well last night. This is Langford. It's the hand pass across to Loveridge. Loveridge in turn goes back to Collins. Collins breaks away from defence and kicks towards midfield. Fortier comes hard, but the mark is taken brilliantly by Hall. And so often, Don, when they bring it out, they look for Hall because he is just so good overhead.
Oh, they're a very skilled side, Hawthorn. They deliver the ball so well, and you can lead with confidence when either teammate gets the ball.
Nice to have a marking centre-line player, though, isn't it, when you're coming out? I mean, if you're in trouble, just boot it high, and he's the sort of bloke that will take a mark opposed to most centre-line players in the competition. Dixon couldn't take the mark out there. Was knocked away by Loveridge. Opportunity out there for Blackwell. In turn, Hawthorn pump it towards the boundary line. They'll have a boundary throw in. Paul Diaz on the ground out there.
Finally got a run. I thought he might have been the unlucky man coming all this way without a run. He's doing the ruck work.
He might have said the lucky man. Dunlop's in front. And the ball is forced out of bounds. That's Dixon, number 21. There's the bench. Alvin nursing the cut above his left eye. Meantime, we're back with Dixon. Kicks down that gasometer wing. Aitken waiting behind the wrestling Brereton and Hannah. Hannah's kick is charged down by Buckenara and spills out of bounds. We'll have a throw in left ball forward for the Blues, or rather for the Hawks.
Interesting to see here if Deere tries to hook this ball back. Now, Hawthorn usually do this with Abbott, but Deere is in ruck at this stage.
He did pretty well to get Madden out of it. He's surrendering a lot of centimetres there. Trying to crash his way through and going nowhere, one Carlton player. That was Noonan. And we're going to have a ball up. Platten emerges brandishing the football, and that smile again. Madden decisively down to Hannah. Beautiful ruck work that. Hannah with a high kick around the outer side wing. Over the top flew Hall, couldn't take the mark. Socket off the ground by Gallagher. Back towards the centre area. Schwab comes down, sockets it on the bounce. Well done. He covered a lot of ground with that kick. Hannah miscues this time. It goes towards centre half back off the outside edge of his boot. Brereton sliding in. Great courage, great desperation. Over the ball, a Carlton player just grabbed and dragged out bodily there. Should have got a free kick. That's Phillips. Is it White? It's White. No free kick forthcoming. So we've got a ball up inside half forward. Madden wins it down. Herman crashing into him was Loveridge. Diving on it, Buckenara. The umpire Harris wants it again. 13.5 minutes played.
Hawthorn players just do the right thing at the critical stage. The way that Buckenara just threw himself across and trapped that ball and held it in the forward line. Good
Madden
play.
was up, couldn't control it. Hall, close to best on ground, I'd suggest now, Tony Hall, as he went in there very strongly. And once more, we'll have a bounce down. 10 metres in from the boundary, about 35 metres from goal. Madden playing the percentages there, knocks it down towards 40, but He hedged his bets because the boundary line was near 40, and he was content to see it go out of bounds. The big fella, great ambassador on this tour. Of course, it goes without saying, a great player. Opportunity for Hall. Couldn't control at that time. DeRuy falls on top of it. Aitken emerges with it. Scrambles a kick about 2 metres. And once more the umpire will be called upon.
The Hawthorn players just hunt in packs. They run in numbers. They do want the ball, and when you do want the ball, you do happen to be drawn to it. You have more options around it, and when the opposition do get it, as on that occasion, you've got players there willing to tackle and able to tackle.
Madden clean possession, got it to Dunlop, boots it wide, close to the boundary line. Platten leads back in the race, but the boundary line will win. 7-13 Hawthorn, 6-11 Carlton. Approaching 15 minutes in the term. We're pitting Collingwood, convincing winners over Geelong in Miami earlier today. Madden is up, brings it down only as far as Kennedy, gets it to Loveridge, but there's a whistle. Kennedy threw it, according to umpire Cameron. He's been pretty hot on that today.
Well, he made one bad one earlier with Peter Domenico when he obviously punched the ball, but he had his back to Peter Cameron, and I thought maybe Kennedy on that occasion got the ball away cleanly.
O'Sullivan, high kick towards half forward. The boot went about as far as the ball. Johnston stands and delivers, boots it towards his half-forward line. Loveridge did brilliantly, as did Schwab. Great vision, great composure, got it to Jenke. Back it comes to Schwab. Schwab breaks away, draws a man, goes over the top to Kennedy. Kennedy back inside to Schwab, confronted by Gallagher, gets the hand pass away, knocked on by Collins, scrambled forward there by Johnston, and now an opportunity to rebound the ball. O'Sullivan over it, knocks it out to Kennedy. Kennedy the high kick towards half forward for the Blues, but reaching over the top, Abbott takes a very good mark. Paul Abbott, 6 goals in the grand final. Along the outer wing. In front was Madden, waiting behind Hannah. Back towards his half-forward line. Jenke was up, trying to fist it away. Collins plays it very, very well. He was held without it. He's going to get the free. But once more, that discipline in evidence as he went to the boundary.
He's played well up there, Collins. He mops up very, very well, runs across the back of packs, and does clean up the loose ball.
Abbott breaks away from half-back. Abbott. Chip pass in short. Gowers reaching for it. Couldn't control it. The meat in the sandwich was Blackwell. Still he goes. Crashing in was Noonan there, looking to shepherd. Some distance away from the ball. Upset a couple of Hawthorn players, but no damage done. And umpire Cameron to bounce it again. So time becoming a factor now. This is Kennedy. He's tried hard on the ball since he was shifted there midway through the third term. Gowers off the ground. Out wide towards the boundary line. Strong shepherd from Dixon. Gowers kept it in back towards Dixon, but then it trickles tantalizingly close to them across the line. Plenty of those in the outer today, both cans and hats, and scarves and umbrellas. There's Madden trying to crash his way through. Knocked out of there by Paul Deere. Dunlop, in a test of strength, may, yes, he has been penalised for holding the ball. So Tony Hall, marvellous game, a fine player. From centre wing towards half forward. Morris in from the side. Brereton, his teammate. White threads a hand pass out. 40 are close to the boundary line. Can he keep it in? Paul Deere's got it now. Mick Kennedy does very well for the Blues. Goes over the top. On the outer side, they're working it well. Noonan gave it back to Fortier. Fortier goes looking for support in Johnston. Platten with courage. And again, well played, brilliantly done to Schwab. The hurried kick goes close to the boundary line. Paul Deere got it to Hall. Across it comes to Morrissey. Morrissey goes down towards the pocket, and Brereton takes the mark.
Well, it all started with Johnny Platten. He's terrific the way he can keep his head over the ball, and he missed it on the first opportunity, but came back and he set up the play, which has resulted in this mark to Jamie Morrissey. Certainly can create if somebody's willing to put their body in, and Platten did on the centre wing, and now the other players further up and down are capitalising on his football.
Jamie Morrissey has kicked 2 goals. This will stamp him as the leading goal scorer in the game if he's accurate. He kicks from about 40 metres. It looks pretty good, and that could be a sealer as far as the Hawks are concerned.
Let's go! Let's go! Sportsco!
Spring into Sportsco for Puma all-purpose tennis shoes at only $79.
Sportsco!
or Spalding basketball slam dunk down to a winning 1999. And Adidas TRX competition running shoes at a record low $69.
Go! Yeah! Go! Wow! Sports Code!
Get activated.
It's Scrambly back in the middle, and Carlton are getting a free kick. Tennis Committee and Don Scott at the Oval for this Foster's Cup match. It's been most enjoyable this afternoon. Both sides to be commended on the way they've initially, in the build-up to the game, spread the word, spread the gospel, and the way they've gone about their business this afternoon. This is John Platten, who's just forward of half-back, and certainly since half-time he's been an outstanding player. Approaching 20 minutes in the final quarter. Paul Deere close to the boundary line, can't keep it in. He's been handy since he came on.
It's just that in-between size. He's just not quite big enough to be a ruckman, although he's strong enough and got the bulk. He's just not quite quick enough to hold down a central position.
Classic example of what Don was saying there. Madden reaching over the top and getting it down to Noonan, despite the real work shown by Deere to initially come side to side, then get in front. There's Dyson. Bounce. Madden crashes into Deere. That hurt Madden. And that's the sort of thing a player like Deere is going to do all the time to try and make up for his lack of centimetres. Now Platten's getting a free kick. John Platten on the Foster's logo out of side.
Just no options for Platten. It's a stagnant forward line from Hawthorn.
Dunstall couldn't hang on but interfered in any case. And Aitken will get the free kick down there. The clock is running down with Hawthorn 8:13, Carlton 6:11. Herman in the back pocket, touches it down once. Alvin just back on the ground, gives a number to Carlton. Well played though by Brown, who got it across to Hannah and turned to Dyson. Dyson goes long towards half forward. Kernahan's in front down there, knocked away by Langford. Good shepherd by Collins. Bought some time for Langford, who, as it turns out, needed it. His first soccer was unsuccessful, but eventually the ball comes to Pritchard. Pritchard boots it towards half forward. Brereton, a real clash of bodies there. Brereton and DeRuy, and the crowd enjoyed that down in front of us. Spills to Buckenara. Brereton goes back and takes a courageous mark. He was looking for somebody, I think, to run into that time.
He could kick this, Brereton.
The kick from about 50 metres out. Tries for the spiral. It's a long kick. They contest right on the kickoff line. Dunstall to the outside of the boot. That would have been an uncanny goal had he got it. He didn't. He missed by a long way. It went out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket. 8:13:61 to 6:11:47. Knocked on by Aitken. Loveridge left without it. Aitken off the ground. Fortier couldn't control it. Platten sliding in there. Claimed by Kennedy. Kennedy, throughout that tackle, was talking to the umpire Cameron, giving him some insight into what was going on. John Platten. What a player. There's interference to Madden, surely.
That's really all Deere can do. He's got to learn to use his body and jump that little bit early, but he did infringe on that occasion.
Madden squares the ball, and Buckenara takes a superb mark.
He's a great athlete, Buckenara. He's a single-figure handicap golfer, and just about anything he lays his hand to, he is very good. And that pass then, terrific stuff.
Jason Dunstall has the ball in the right full forward pocket. 132 goals on the season. 16 Brownlow votes. Just off the pace behind Gerard Healy. This will test him. Has he got the accuracy? I don't think so. I think he's missed to the near side. So a minor score increases the lead for Hawthorn. They're 8:14, Carlton 6:11. An abysmal day this morning. Rain was tumbling down incessantly when we got here. Very few people at the ground. They have increased the number of spectators as the day has worn on. Loveridge gets a goal for Hawthorn. That should end Carlton's chances of making the final.
Only the best movies, only on 7. Coming soon, Sylvester Stallone in the television premiere of Rocky III. Paul Newman and Tom Cruise in the Academy Award winner, Colour of Money. Dudley Moore in Santa Claus the Movie. Kelly McGillis of Top Gun in The Diary of a Nymphomaniac, Private Sessions. Michael Caine in the worldwide satellite search for Jack the Ripper, The Final Solution. And Roger Moore in the television premiere of Octopussy. Only the best, coming soon, only on 7.
We're back in the centre, approaching time on. 24.5 minutes have been played. Langford, deft deflection out wide. It's taken by Kennedy. Superb balking in there. Platten goes to ground. Kernahan is claimed by Kennedy, and we'll have a ball up.
Hawthorn has certainly gone on with this game. Their fitness, their system of play, I suppose that's understandable because a lot of these Carlton players haven't played senior football and they just are not up to it at this stage. But they really did apply themselves early in this game. Just youthful enthusiasm.
Gowers gets a couple of kicks there, one of which hit Platten between the fours. The ball's gone out of bounds on the outer side wing. Russell Morris didn't have a great season for Hawthorn. He's a better player than what he showed on the course of the 1988 season. Madden wins it down. Hand pass comes out from Hall. Here's the hooter. Hawthorn have won. So Hawthorn through to the final of the Foster's Cup. And I think despite a spirited showing from Carlton, especially in the second quarter, they were the superior side. That was borne out by the figures we saw throughout the day. They really did have a lot of the ball. Carlton had great attitude this afternoon, and full credit to them and their coach of the day, Colin Kinnear. He got a real spirited showing from his charges, but Hawthorn really just too strong. They led at every change by 3 points at quarter time, 3 points at half time, 9 points at three-quarter time, and finally they've run out convincing winners. I think the gentleman operating the scoreboard wants to get home pretty quickly because the numbers have come down. Have you got the final score there,
yes,
Don?
the final score. Hawthorn 9-14-68, Carlton 6-11-47.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Let's go! Let's go! Sports Code! Sports Code! Sports Code! Go! Yeah! Go! Wow! Sports Code!
Get activated. To make his zillions, Mr. Getty Sr. relies on his advisors.
Advisors, attention!
Every day he's advised on the stock market, finance, real estate, advisor after advisor. On the other hand, young Mr. Getty makes his zillions with a different advisor, the Financial Review, Australia's business newspaper. So while Mr. Getty Sr. is being advised...
Personal investment, industrial relations...
Mr. Getty Jr. is getting straight to the point because first thing every morning his Financial Review arrives jam-packed with important information. No puffery, no flim-flam. So if you'd like to be first with the business news, take advantage of this great trial offer. Call this number and have the Financial Review delivered to your home or office first thing every morning for 4 weeks. Absolutely free. The Financial Review has Australia's largest team of investment writers to keep you informed.
Banking, finance...
Every day, the Financial Review highlights different topics. Personal finance, computers, marketing and advertising, commercial property and real estate, and on Friday, the top executive jobs. Call now and have the Financial Review delivered to your home or office first thing every morning for 4 weeks, absolutely free. So while Mr. Getty Sr. is being advised...
Taxation review...
Mr. Getty Jr. is getting a head start on making even more zillions. Call now and order your free trial of the Australian Financial Review. There's money in it. In fact, it could be worth zillions.
Spot said we better duck for cover because the missus wanted some new colour. But that was okay because Mitre 10's big price cut specials had saved the day. Yep, $6 off every 4-litre can of Dulux Weather Shield Gloss. Not $33.95, $27.95. Save another $6 on every 4 litres of Dulux Wash and Wear Flat. Not $31.95, $25.95.
How about that, eh, Spot?
Yeah, Mitre 10's got the flaming lot.
Mitre 10. You need it, they've got it.
Have you seen the light and found the spot for Melbourne's best combination of great food and entertainment? The Swagman, of course.
The magnificent variety and quality of the Swagman's hot and cold buffet have made it famous as the Super Smorgasbord. The Swagman's floor shows and specialty features are constant highlights. Give your life a lift. Book now.
And step out in style at the Swagman.
Margin, 21 points the margin here at the Oval, 9-14 to 6-11. So Hawthorn pulling away in that final term, adding 2-2 to just 2 behinds from Carlton. Now, Dixie Marshall is standing by and she's talking with one of the stars of this Foster's Cup match, Tony Hall.
Thanks, Dennis. It's got to feel good, Tony, to win at the Oval.
Yeah, it was good. We really wanted to win because we want to go and play in Canada, so it was great. Yeah.
And to beat Carlton in a tight one.
Yeah, it's always good to win against Carlton. They had a lot of players out that they didn't bring over, but they played a very good game, so it was still good to win.
Tommy, have you found it hard to keep up after winning the grand final?
Oh, the boys have had a pretty good time over the last couple of weeks, and but no, last night most of the blokes just had an easy night, and really looking forward to playing today, so they're pretty professional about it.
The most important question, have you enjoyed the shopping and the sights in London?
Yeah, it's been great. We spent a couple of days going around seeing all the sights and that, and only had one day shopping, and it's been good.
And now off to Toronto.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good. It's pretty cold over here, so I might have to grab a jacket before we go.
And one right now. Thanks, because you've got a cold.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Tony. Back to you, Deb.
Okay, thanks, Dixie. The most important question, have you enjoyed the shopping? Just because she enjoyed the shopping so much in Seoul. We'll be back at the Oval right after this break.
That's it. Had enough. I understand you've worked all your life and you can't afford a holiday.
Where do you want to go?
Anywhere but here.
Okay, let's do it.
What with?
Read this.
You've got this much? We've got this much? How did we do this?
It's called savings, Dan. Remember, savings comes before spending.
Bit of interest.
Every day of the year.
I can't take this. You saved it. It's your money.
No, it's our money, Stan.
For a minimum deposit of $50, a State Bank investment account allows you to watch your money grow while you earn high interest calculated daily. And your money's at call.
Seems a shame to spend it.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
State Bank investment account. We never forget. It's your money.
Advisors, attention!
If you haven't had time to order your 4 weeks free trial of Australia's business newspaper, here's the telephone number again. Ring now. Have the financial review delivered to your home or office first thing every morning for 4 weeks, absolutely free. Be first with the business news and all the important business information to keep you a step ahead. Call now and order your 4 weeks free trial of the Australian financial...